Hello and welcome to another video. My name's Chris. I recently published a video which explains what BlendIf is and how it works. In this video I'm going to give 6 examples of some things you can do with BlendIf, although the possibilities are almost endless. If you don't know how BlendIf works, I suggest you watch my other video first by clicking on the box above or using the link in the description. Anyway, let's get started. The first example we're going to look at for using BlendIf is what I might call exposure blending, by tweaking the exposure of an image. We'll start with this, which is an HDR bracket set of 3 images. This is the middle exposure, that's the bright one, and that's the dark one. Now I think first of all we need to select all the layers and auto align them to make sure they're all in line. So now what we want to do, we'll use the lighter layer and we want to bring in that lighter layer over the dark areas of the underlying image. Double click here to bring up blending options, and what we want to do here is to eliminate the bright areas of this layer. So we'll bring down the current layer white slider to something like that. Hold Alt or Option to give it a nice blend, say there. Click OK. So now you see we've brightened the dark areas, but we haven't affected the bright areas. I think this is probably a bit too much, so we'll reduce the opacity to around 50%. That's better. So now we want to use the dark layer to reduce the exposure in the sky, the mountains and part of the sea. So switch that on, bring up blending options. Now what we want here is to bring in the light part of this layer, not the dark part. So in the current layer, we'll bring this over to hide the darkest parts, so something like that. Alt or Option to spread and produce a smoother blend, something like that. Click OK. So now you see we've got rid of the overexposure here but haven't affected the darker parts of the image. Now overall this seems to me to be lacking a bit of contrast, so we can add one more curves adjustment layer and just make a gentle S curve to reintroduce some contrast. So that's where we started, and that's where we've finished. Much more and better balanced image. A more common scenario would be trying to balance the light in a single image, which is what we'll do here. So this is the middle exposure of the 3 bracketed images we used in the previous example. So what we need to do first is add a curves adjustment layer and brighten up the image like that. Go back into layers, bring up blending options. So what I want to do now is to eliminate the brighter pixels in this layer. So we'll take the current layer white slider and bring it down to something like that. Alt or Option to give them a better spread. That's about right. So you can see we've brightened the shadows. It may be a bit excessive in the tree, so we'll reduce the opacity to around 70%. And now we need to do something about the bright areas, so another curves adjustment layer, and this time we'll reduce the brightness, something like that. Bring up blending options. Now on this layer we want to eliminate the darker pixels, so current layer darker. Take it up to about there. Alt or Option to give a feathered edge, something like that. So this is what we started with, and that's what we finish with. A much better balance of light than in the original image. So these 2 examples show how you can blend exposures and balance light using either multiple exposures or adjustment layers, or with BlendIf. The second example for using BlendIf is color toning. So here we have a sunset scene where we want to enhance the golden colors of the sunset whilst making the foreground, which is in deep shadow, a bit more blue or cold. So we go into the layers panel, make that an ordinary layer, a solid color adjustment layer, I guess a darkish blue, something like that. Click OK. Now what we want to do is for the lighter pixels underneath to come through so they're not color toned. Double click here to bring up BlendIf. What we want are for the lighter pixels underneath to show through. So we'll move this slider and you'll see we're bringing up the underlying pixels and something like that. Hold Alt or Option to get a smoother blend, and that's probably about what we want, and we'll click OK. And that's obviously far too strong, so we'll reduce the opacity to something like that. And we don't really want it on the building here, so we've got a layer mask anyway. So B for the brush tool, painting with black, and we'll just eliminate the blue from the building so we get more contrast in the foreground. Something like that, and we don't want any blue there. So that's got our foreground a bit blue. Maybe we'll reduce it from the vehicles as well, and possibly reduce the opacity a bit more. It's a bit more like it. Now, to enhance the golden colours of the sunset, we want another solid colour adjustment layer. This time we'll go for some sort of orange. That looks like the sort of thing. Click OK. Now, what we want now is for the dark pixels of the underlying layer to come through so they're not toned with the orange. So double click and we move this across to something like that, and hold Alt or Option to give us a smoother blend, something like that. Click OK. Now, if you want to preserve some of the blue in the sky, what we can do is apply a gradient to this colour fill. Hold Shift so it's vertical, and then we do something like that. Sorry, I've gone off screen. So now we've brought back some of the blue. So this is what we started with. We made the foreground blue and cold, and we've enhanced the oranges of the sunset but left a bit of the blue at the top. I think possibly this is a bit too strong, so something like that. So that's colour toning using BlendIf. The third example of a BlendIf use is replacing a sky. Now, of course, in later versions of Photoshop, there are other ways to do this with selecting the sky in both Camera Raw and Photoshop itself, but BlendIf seems to work as well, if not better, and is much quicker. So here we have an image where we want to replace the sky. So we're going to use this sky. So we get the Move tool and drag it over to the image. Now what we want is for the darker pixels of the background to show through this sky. So we'll double click here, and for the underlying layer we'll move this, and as you see the foreground is beginning to appear, something like that. Alt or Option for a smoother blend, and that's about right. Click OK. Now you can see there's a slight bit of the sky still showing here, so we'll add a sky mask. B for the brush tool, painting with black, and we'll just paint over here to make sure none of the sky comes through. So that was pretty quick and easy, and it's a good selection. So that's one of the easy ways you can use BlendIf in Photoshop. The fourth example of BlendIf is perhaps less common, but you can use it to create very complex selections or masks. So here we are with the same sky replacement image, but I've reversed the order of the layers so that the old sky is on top. So we're going to apply BlendIf to this layer now, but we'll first look in the channels panel, and you can see the three channels. And by far the best contrast is in the blue channel. So I'll go back to layers, bring up BlendIf, and we'll go into the blue channel. Now we want to get rid of the blue pixels, the bright pixels, so you'll see pretty quickly that happens. Alt or Option, and there we are, we've replaced the sky. But the thing to notice, if you look at the thumbnail, the original sky is still there. We haven't actually removed it or created a mask. Just to show, you can, having done the BlendIf, you can move the sky around. As there's no static mask, the blend remains the same, so it gives you some more freedom. But anyway, going back to the top layer, although it doesn't show because it's blended, it's still there. And the way around that is to convert this to a smart object. Now you'll see there's the checkerboard pattern, it shows transparency. Now if you hold the Control key or Command on Mac and click, you'll select all the pixels in the top layer. And if I hit Q for quick mask mode, you can see the areas that are selected, which are in colour, and the red overlay is the area which has not been selected. In fact, you can see there's a few bits here that haven't been selected. So if we paint with a black brush, we can bring them back into the selection. So you can do what you want with that selection. Save it, use it for other purposes. If of course I now create a layer mask, hold Alt and click on the layer mask to show it, you can see there is a very complex selection that we've achieved without too much effort. So that's one of the more unusual uses of BlendIf. The fifth use I'm going to talk about is where you blend two items together so they look like they're truly together in place rather than one plonked on top of or behind another. I'll give two simple examples, but the possibilities are really endless. So here we have a simple image with a rough concrete background and an ordinary type layer on top, and no one would think that that writing was actually on the wall itself, but BlendIf can make it look much more realistic. So double click to bring up BlendIf. And what we want to do is to allow some of the lighter pixels to come through the black type. So we go to the underlying layer and force through some white pixels. Alt or Option to split the triangle for a smoother blend. And there we are. It now looks as though the writing is actually on the wall, and you can see some of the reflection of the rough surface coming through. This one is quite a well-known example. What we want to do is to make the aeroplane look as though it's flying through the clouds. So double click on the aeroplane layer. What we want to do is to force through the lighter or white pixels. So we go to the underlying layer, the white slider, move it across, and then Alt or Option spread to get a smooth transition. Click OK, and now the aeroplane looks like it's flying through the clouds. And if you use the Move tool, you can move the plane around and the blend holds and it looks like it's flying through the clouds. So that's another example of how you can make two items appear to be genuinely composited together using BlendIf. The sixth and final type of example is what you might call special effects, although it's really just another form of combining two layers together. So here we have an image of some bokeh, and under that a woman at sunset, and we're going to combine the two together. Now obviously we can combine them simply by reducing opacity. We can also change the blend mode to get some interesting effects. But of course BlendIf adds to your options, so double click on here. So let's say to start with we want to get rid of the black in the upper image. We'll just move the black slider over, Alt or Option to get a smooth adjustment. So now we have the lights at full opacity but none of the black. Of course you can reduce the opacity. You can try different blend modes, lighten, screen, overlay, soft light, get all sorts of interesting effects. You can also of course reduce the bokeh lights by bringing down the white slider. That's not really producing a suitable effect. Then of course you can force through the darker pixels from underneath. Again, you can try different effects, blend modes, opacity, and then finally we can force through the underlying light pixels. If you want to see the sunset, again we can reduce the opacity, different blend modes, all sorts of interesting effects. So this just shows BlendIf along with blend mode and opacity can produce virtually an infinite number of effects. So that's a quick review of some of the ways you might use BlendIf. If you know other ways to achieve worthwhile effects, perhaps you could let me know in the comments. And if you find this useful, perhaps you could give it a like and even consider subscribing. But in any case, many thanks for watching.